All right, we're outside Lyle, Washington in an undisclosed location. And this is where James and his brother Bob work their stunt car magic and restore a very special car. So let's go check it out. All right, we're here with James Smith. James, how you doing?
Very well.
Nice to meet you. So we're kind of in your top secret shop, the lab, where you get stuff built, right?
Yeah, it's not really top secret, but it's not out in the open.
Right, right. So I know that. Okay, so you're kind of a jack of all trades. It sounds like you do a lot of different things. Originally, you know, stunt car driving was something that we talked about before. Obviously, I cannot wait to get to this part of it, but I'm going to try and be patient, and we'll just go through it. So, first, tell me how you got into stunt car driving.
Hanging out with those crazy stuntmen from the Dukes of Hazzard television series.
The original.
The original guys.
Rad.
Alan Wyatt Jr. and Corey Eubanks, Russell Solberg, Gary Baxley, the original stunt doubles from the show.
Okay. And how did you meet up with those guys?
Well, my brother and Bob and I went to the East Coast to see the cast and crew of the Dukes of Hazzard, and so we went to this show where they were at, signing autographs, and just became friends, and went to the next year to the show again, and really built a relationship with some of these guys.
Were you guys already driving your own cars at that point, or was this something where you got on set and they're like, "Hey, James, we needed somebody to drive the"?
I was not even in motion picture work yet.
Okay.
It was through some of the guys like Corey Eubanks that we became good friends with. I helped him with live shows. My brother Bob and I was out at Dukes Fest in Nashville, Tennessee, belting him in the car to jump the General Lee 30 feet in the air, 200 feet long. And as I started helping them and safetying for them, and then doing the ski car stunt on two wheels, then Corey said, "Hey, this guy's good, let's use him in some motion pictures." So
basically that was your launching point, and then tell me about some of the stuff you've been doing. I know that you recently just worked on the Transformers movie, right?
Yeah, I worked on the first Transformers with Michael Bay.
Nice.
Drove the Bumblebee on two wheels.
Oh, okay. The scene in the city, right?
Yeah, in the tunnel.
Yeah.
When it transforms, it goes over the top of the new one. That was me driving that one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a difficult night.
Yeah, I bet. So the night before something like that, do you get nervous anymore? Or,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any stuntman that has a gag like that to do would be lying if he says doesn't think about it or doesn't lose sleep.
Okay. So you couldn't have picked something like being a librarian or playing chess professionally.
I would get more sleep.
Put cars on two wheels instead. So, and then you're also working on the TV show Leverage, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay,
exactly.
Cool. So how does that work for you? How do you, like, is it basically like, you know a guy who knows a guy and they're like, "Hey, James is awesome at, you know, this particular stunt, let's call him up and bring him in," or how does, like, as far as like the relationship goes?
Well, that's exactly. When you get proficient in an occupation, then you become famous for what you do. So then more people say, "Hey, we got a guy that we can count on to coordinate this show or work for this guy." And so Kevin Jackson's coordinating the Leverage.
Right.
Great guy, and he's got lots of experience. Couldn't work with a nicer person.
Cool. So yeah, so then when you get to set, do you get to bring your own? Well, obviously, like with the Transformers, they have like a hero. They have a explain that to me.
3 cars.
3 cars. Okay. So walk me through the 3 cars.
I picked out the one that I wanted to ski.
Okay.
And I helped the mechanic. They brought me in a few days early.
Okay.
And so I worked with the mechanic in the shop to put the right suspension components in the car to make it do the job.
Right.
And you know, because that old Camaro, it was kind of dicey putting it on 2 wheels. A newer car's better because it's tighter.
Okay.
So the old car, the mechanic that was working there was great guys, and they really worked hard to make it work.
So it's a lot. Imagine when you go on 2 wheels, obviously the balancing act is the trick. So the weight and where the weight goes in the car, like you said, the suspension on the side, on the ground. I mean, that's a pretty complex.
And how much the suspension moves,
right?
How good your shocks are. If the wheels are loose on the car, it's not good. There's a lot of small things that can be a big problem if they're there.
Yeah, if you're in a car on 2 wheels, I imagine any small problem is probably a big problem.
Right.
So, how do you rehearse getting onto 2 wheels? Like, how does that work? Like for like a rehearsal, because like if you and I were in an acting scene, we could just talk and rehearse. But like, if you're in a car and you got to throw it up on the 2 wheels, you just gonna go for it, like.
Well, when you've skied a car enough, like Buzz Bundy, one of my mentors, that skied the General Lee on 2 wheels, and Knight Rider, and Fall Guy, done James Bond, the Diamonds Are Forever, the Red Mustang in Las Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good friends with him. He lives 2.5 hours from here.
Oh, nice.
he worked in the thrill shows in the 60s, 50s,
Okay.
60s, and 70s.
Okay.
So he's got 50 years of experience.
Wow.
And he's driven a car on two wheels probably more than any other one person. So even today, he hasn't done it for 10 years. He could get in a car and probably put it on two wheels within 15 minutes and be driving down the road.
Wow.
So it's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah, so I mean, you were saying you do these shows as well, you do stunt shows and everything. What's the longest you've been on two wheels in a car? Like, distance-wise?
Probably about 2 miles.
What, dude? 2 miles?
The tire will wear out pretty quick.
Real? Oh, that makes sense. But 2 miles? You just like go through the Starbucks drive-thru, kind of like cruise, and then just keep going. And
Well, I work on circle tracks, so I can keep
okay,
going.
you just keep cruising?
So I've made like 3 laps around a quarter mile to half mile circle track.
This is a proper Dukes of Hazzard shrine. I can honestly say I've never seen so much Dukes of Hazzard stuff. So tell me what we're gonna do now.
We're gonna take this car off that ramp and drive it down on two wheels.
All right, okay.
Would you like to drive?
No, I'm good, I'm good.